reached. Area code 313.
All my live niggas in the 313. Man, oh man, hey, what's going on out there, everybody? How y'all doing? I'm your host. New. I'd like to welcome to another edition of No Fan Sports Podcast on No Fan TV via YouTube. It's been a minute. I haven't broadcasted since the Super Bowl. Got to bear with me going through a few things. Life gets you kind of busy, a little hesitant. How you out there walking picket lines and different things like that. Speaking of which, excuse me. Matter of fact, let me do a little housekeeping before I even touch on that, because I did want to make a comment on that. No Fan Sports Podcast is providing this podcast as a public service, but it's neither a legal interpretation nor a statement of No Fan Sports Podcast policy. Reference to any specific product or entity does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by No Fan Sports Podcast. The views expressed by the guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of any entity they represent. Views and opinions expressed by myself are those of my own and do not necessarily reflect the views of No Fan Sports Podcast or any of its officials. Okay, now that I got that out the way, oh, this light's a little bright too. Let me turn this down. So, hold on. Go sit down. Go sit down. Oh. No, we don't want that. Blue knife, cut it out. So anyway, sorry about that, but try to get some of this little glare out of here. But Blue, go sit here. Go sit down. Go sit down. Go sit down. Ivy, go sit down. My goodness, I didn't mean to do all that. Anyway, so also copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowances is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, so now we got the legalities out of the way. We got that part out the way. Back to what I was saying. I want to shout out those unions out there, them Teamsters, UAW, those brothers and sisters from all other locals that have came by, stopped by, and help the fight for rights for the common worker. Like take my hat off to them. Like I said, those Teamsters, the UAW, and those union members, especially those who came by. Too many locals to name, to give credit to. But I like to shout them out. Again, I'm your host. I go by New, just simple NEW nickname that was given to me by dear friend of mine, my man Don Q. May he rest in peace. May he rest in peace. Moving forward. I don't know if you've been here before. In case you haven't, we might as well get this out the way. We just have one simple request. When you come in here, leave your bromances and womancers at the door. That's a must, because we like to talk. We like to pride ourselves on talking about not just analytics, the metrics, and the stats, but we like to talk about that in between, that gray area that many don't like to speak on. Okay, so if you come in here with that, a lot of that love and favoritism towards a particular athlete, don't be alarmed when the stats and some of the feelings don't add up to what you expect. Like the average person may jump over to that. With that being said, today's show, man, I had to put this together. As you can see, this is the D. This is what we represent here. We based out of Detroit. We here at No Fan, and one of our local big dogs went down last night, an attorney. And the sad part about this is I've actually been suggesting that this dude be terminated or fired or something or step down for some years now. And we talking about Tom Izzo at Michigan State. Tom, they got that. What was that championship he got there with a 2000 championship with Martin Cleves and that squad in the year 2000. It's now 2021. And my argument is this: he's been getting the tops and the best of the best out of all over the state of Michigan, getting them all the best kids over there. And what we looking at is the same type of situation continuing to happen year in and year out. His coaching style, I think his coaching style is outdated. It's I don't have any. It's not that I have any problems with discipline. I like discipline is a part of sports and different things of that nature. But I think Izzo's his coaching style is outdated. I call him the modern day Bobby Knight. His antics. This is 2 years in a row. Especially during these crunch times, or during the playoffs or whatever, during the Final Fours or whatever, that he's having these blow up with players and these physical confrontations with his players in front of national TV. This is not the first time. Like I said, it just happened last year, and I can think of some other years before that. And we still, and we not to mention the scores and scores of men that has came and played in his program that may not have opened up publicly, but for someone such as myself who's been watching this man for a long time now, watching, I call him he's a game killer. He's a game killer. He roots these top athletic scorers or whatever it is out of the state of Michigan. He's getting these kids, and these kids are individuals. These are the type of players. This type of game it is now. It's more the game. The whole game is just more. I don't want to say just totally individualism, but you're looking at like it's like a tweener thing. Everybody is a more offense prolific, not so much structured type of basketball game that we're playing now. Both on any level you play. You can notice this when we'll go back when they played. I think they played. I remember, what was it, UConn? UConn was Napier and Boatwright. Two little guards got at them pretty good. And it's a guard dominated or a ball handler dominated type of league nowadays, whether you have a small guard up front or you have big guards up front. And Izzo kind of likes to stay back to the old traditional style, which I don't have any problems with to a certain extent, but know the players that you bring it into your program. Understand that particular mentality, that style of basketball is not necessarily winning you games right now. It's getting you, and we get a lot of Michiganders here, and I say this all the time. Oh, well, he's been to the Elite Eight. Oh, he's been to the Final Four more times. How many times do we have to just keep going and be in second place? I mean, when did we start celebrating being in second place or appearances? When did we start celebrating appearances? You want to get to this goal. So we're talking about 2000 when he won the national championship. It's 2021. And to be perfectly honest with you, he's had arguably, like I said, not only has he gotten all the best talent out of the state because of the naturally got a lot of that. Go let Ivy. Go. Lay down. Go. Not only did he get most of that due to the Fab Five scandal of Michigan, that's when Michigan State really took off with and Izzo, and ironically snitch. What's that guy name? Play for Cleves. Yeah, he told on it, and the whole Michigan program went down to not that I'm saying it was cool or anything, but he snitched. They got on. Michigan State went on, started grabbing hold of all the players out of the state of Michigan. In the meantime, this dude is grabbing while he getting these players. I'm watching the players go in there, and lots of times with kids, man, they go follow what's hot. What look like it's hot. Now the state of Michigan State was it. So we're getting a lot of players that we talking about that's going in there What's the current young man's name that he got on this roster now that he uh he having issues with young man out of Detroit. I can't think of his name right now. If somebody remembers or tell me who it is in the chat box or whatever, hit me with it. But I know when he played Michigan the other night, he gave Michigan, all they could stand. I think he went from about 20 something. Guard, small athletic guard, score. IZZO likes it, a traditional, more point guard type of player. But you have to quit recruiting these kids in that's just natural God given scores. You kind of adjust a little bit. You got to adjust your coaching style somewhat so you can get so these guys when they enter your program, you kind of you're not totally taking away from yourself. You're still preaching your core qualities, but you can't turn score. He's bringing in a lot of Allen Iverson type of guards, aside from his most recent Cassius Winston, and then you're trying to conform them and trying to put them in this little box, And he's one of those classic coaches where you're looking over your shoulder. You make a mistake, and here comes the hook. Here comes the yelling and the screaming, and as you can see, as him and the young man Brown, I think his name was, got into a little shouting match, a little pulling and tugging match on the way out once, in halftime, just before the UCLA at halftime of the UCLA game. And it just happens all the time. So I heard Draymond Green chirped in, talking about, nothing to it, no big deal. But this is what, and I'm surprised. Well, I'm not surprised that he would say something like that because this is his alma mater. This is where he spent 4 years of his life at, and he was that type of. But in the same token, when you listen to Draymond speak on other issues, he's got a real strong fight in a bite for. But something with him, it is okay. I understand this. This is your alma mater, but no, that's not all right. You challenging and having shoving matches with players, like all the time. This is like every time, and you're a game killer. So I can go back so many guards. I remember going to Michigan State and they had so much talent, but when they got there, you just stunted their growth. We go back to IZZO. I remember a young man, many may not remember him. I think his name was Marcus Cotton. Young man played out of DePores. Come out of DePore a few years back, went up there. IZZO just completely put the cuffs on this dude, man. Put the cuffs on him. Just cuffed him up. He ended up transferring, I think, to UAD. I'm not sure what he's doing now, but put the cuffs on him, man. And what you had in that young man was a Allen Iver-esque type of scorer, type of basketball player at the point guard position. And that's some folks, you don't try to clip their wings. You just try to get them, Larry Brown and Allen Iverson collided, but Larry Brown figured out a way to make it work for what he had and what he made a nice little gumbo out of what he had over there and created a mix. And those are the sign of good coaches. And then we can I'll take you to a more recent one of my brothers, my alumni brothers. One of my alumni brothers, I'm a two-fisted. Just playing. But anyway, one of my alumni brothers from Detroit Purge and the Doughboys, young man Keith Applin. And it's funny about the young man too, because I remember, senior in high school, I think they won that championship. They was down there. I went to this game. Was down there at the Breslin Center for the state championships, and I remember him going. I think he about 49 in the championship game. Another Allen Iver-esque type of player. And I mean, you let him do what he do, you go get what you get, And again, I think he got a young man, I think his name is Rocket or something like that, that plays for him now, something similar to that. And if you just let them go, I mean, you see what they're doing. You don't bring a freestyle basketball player that just went for 50 or 49 in a high school championship game and then try to cuff him up. And needless to say, what happened with his career, I'm hoping there's no bad ill will to him, but I hope he's doing okay now. I understand he ran into some little troubles out here. The world's rough out here, but I bless him, still love him. Like I said, as an alumni brother. But at the end of the day, a lot of what he's going through is because he's been dealing with a coach that's philosophy is outdated. That's terribly outdated. And I didn't want to stay too long on that. I just wanted to be, make it clear, man. We got to at some point, man. I don't understand what is it. What we looking at is a modern day Bobby Knight, man. We're looking at a modern day Bobby Knight. This is what Bobby Knight now. And actually, even with that, even with me saying we're looking at a modern day Bobby Knight, that's not and that's I'm actually, not giving credit to Bobby Knight. Was a great coach. And I'm not shitting on Bobby Knight. Was coach stuck up, like I said, I don't mind discipline. Bobby was a little over top, but Bobby produced though. And what I mean by production, even with his hard-nosed discipline type of basketball coaching style, he still kind of somewhat was able to change a bit. He got a 76 championship, caught another one in the 80s. Somewhere in between, you know what I'm saying? And some adjustments he had to make. It's even as hard-nosed as he was. But I still never seen him. Most of his players, he still allowed them to be. He was capable of making them mix somewhat for the most part, the majority of the time. Think about it. He had Isaiah Thomas over there, man. No, he won 81 and 87. Wow. Yeah, they won 181. So he caught championships, through that growth period. Here we got IZZO, man, 21 years in, man. When we celebrating the Team Cleveland squad, when he's had one of the best outside of that 79 championship squad that H.A.C.K caught with Magic Johnson and them, I think IZZO has had the second best squad that in Spartan history. With that, what was that? That 20, I think it was 2017, 2018 squad. Miles Bridges, Jared Jackson Jr., a sophomore Langford, Nick Ward. I think that was one of the best teams he ever taken, and they had predicted them to go pretty far. I think that was one of the best teams he ever had in title hunt. And this is again every year come in ranked 1 and 2 or top 5, meet Duke or meet another top-notch program, get popped. Never live up to the billing. Having these games on battleships and all this kind of stuff. The guys, they're great number 2, but we got to stop celebrating appearances. It's not about appearances. Okay, it's not about appearances. We need results. We know plenty of coaches that's been fired for less. Okay, so yeah, in my eyes, he is a hack. It's time for him to go. And anybody, I would love to speak with anybody from Michigan State, any alumni, whatever. You can't defend this. It's nothing you can't defend it. And we're not even gonna mention that even as players on the NBA level, outside of Draymond Green, you don't remember many of them. I know a few. Oh, another alumni brother that was pretty good. My man Kevin Willis. Wow. Oh, Steve Smith. But those weren't his kids. I'm talking about his kids. Okay. So it's time for him to go, man. I like I said, I didn't want to stay long. Again, I'm your host. I go by New. I'm excited to say, man, I just picked up a sponsor, man. I picked up a sponsor from Sexy Black Entertainment is the name. Sexy Black Entertainment. You'll check it out on IG. It's actually a nice little cooking show. Beautiful young lady that cooks some great food. I think she goes by Anika Black. Check her out on Sexy Black Entertainment is IG. That's going to be our sponsor moving forward. I'm glad to have them aboard. Magazine, from what I'm understanding, is on the way. And it's like I said, cooking show, a little sex appeal to it, do a little cooking. The food is fabulous. Cook is beautiful. Make sure you go check that out on IG, Sexy Black Entertainment. And dig here. I always had this little moment. Just before it's time to go. I gotta do this before it's time to go. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, my man Kurt Franklin had issue little situation with he and his one of his children, his son, and I don't really get into all this internet gospel and stuff like that, but it's out here, man. And I just I was chit chatting with just some close friends or what have you, and I just thought this was like just amazing. It's funny as hell to me. So I guess right after he, the leaked or the audio leaked or whatever, he issued an apology and then went on, I think, the next day breakfast. Because somewhere, I'm not sure, did an interview to explain what's going on because he used some words. See, for me, this got two little, man, I can hit this in so many angles. This got a couple of angles for me. So they were still, God couldn't counsel him enough to get his son in order, I guess, because they were seeing counselors on top of that too. So they had to go see a counselor. You already, supposed to have Lord in it, but anyway, I ain't gonna go there. But they were seeing a counselor. But these are old. It wasn't no young kid. This is one of his older children. Too old. But they didn't use two sides to a story. And naturally didn't hear. You only heard the little snippets and different things like that. But I'm just gonna say this. I didn't grow up in that era. I didn't grow up in there. I buried my mother last summer. Bless her heart. May she rest in peace. K Rain. I didn't grow up in the era like that. And it was my father wasn't necessarily home, whatever, but I just didn't grow up like that, where you use language like that to your parents. And we can call it whatever you want to call it, or however the discipline went down. A lot of people didn't like that part of it either, but at the end of the day, the respect level was just something totally different. It was just totally different. I just, you just didn't do things like that. You didn't have those type of conversations with your elders, So I can see what Kurt would be, rather upset. I mean, it's just totally disrespectful. Okay, so why he's apologizing, I don't know what he apologizing for, but in the same token, I think the people mad because they held him up to this particular standard of like many people should be held up to a high standard though when they, when you worshiping and you preaching the gospel so-called and you're trying to live that life, yeah, you should be held up to a high standard because that's the standard you're trying to live. But people do make mistakes in the same token. I get that. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna ride with Kirk on this one. Cause man, son ain't got no business talking to you like that. That was raggedy. That was raggedy all the way around. Young man need to be shaming himself. And I ain't gonna say what I really would want to say, but dude, get your stuff together. Again, like I say, appreciate y'all checking me out. And let's get IZZO up out of there, man. He been here too long. Not enough. We're not seeing enough of this. Second places and appearances and different things of that nature. It's just not what it is, man. We got to get something better than that. It's 20 years. It's been 21 years. It's been 21 years. His kids, them kids that had kids and probably got kids that's on their way playing for him. 21 years since the championship and a bunch of appearances, man. Nobody remember who came in second place. So let's get this guy up out of here again. I'm your host. I go by New. Like I said, we're happy to be joined by, we got a new sponsor now that's taking care of us, Sexy Black Entertainment. Go check it out over there on IG, Sexy Black Entertainment. A little cooking, a little conversation. Got some R&B coming this weekend too, from my man Darnay, local guy. Good gentleman. Go put some lyrics down. We'll have dinner lyrics. This is tomorrow. I don't know. Yeah, Saturday the 20th. Saturday the 20th at 8 p.m. over there on IG, man. We go get over there and check it out, man. A little dinner and a little R&B. Okay. All right. I appreciate y'all. I'll talk to y'all later, man. Take it easy. Peace.